Welcome to Wade's RC Hangar. On this edition we'll be doing the unboxing of the P-40B Warhawk 50 by Hangar 9. Alright, this model came in configuration of ARF. Now I know you hear a bunch of different terms for ARF, but what this means on this particular model is that it's actually going to have only the airframe and some of the basic components. None of the electronics are going to be installed. You're going to have to do all that yourself. So what we're going to do is go through the box, show you some of the components and pieces, the quality, all the parts and pieces that come with it, and then at the end I'll give you my review and let you know what I think about the quality of the actual kit itself. So let's get started into the box. Alright, so let's get into this box. First thing I notice about the box is that the pictures are stunning. It goes into a lot of detail as far as what's inside the box, specifications, tells you a little bit of the history, some of the actual key features of the airplane, so that's really nice. The outside is absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and take the lid off and let's see what we got inside. Alright, so we've got the box open, and as you can see down here, all the pieces are in it nice and tight. There's not going to be any movement whatsoever, and what that means for us is that none of the parts should be broken. So what I'm going to do is start pulling these pieces out. Now the first thing I noticed right here is that they're packaged up pretty individually. None of the coating has been damaged whatsoever. You can see right here we've got the vertical and horizontal stabilizer packaged nice and neat. It also has all the components needed to attach all the pieces necessary to make this work inside of the same bag. So the good thing is you're not really going to have to search for all your pieces and parts for that particular section of the build. So I'm going to set this here right off to the side and move on to the next piece. Next what we've got is half of our main wing. Now inside of this one we've got some of the decals. Okay, you can flip it over and you can see the very nice job that they have done. The coating is pretty smooth. There's no wrinkles, no anything in the coating. Alright, so as you can see underneath here, very nice, smooth, no wrinkles in the coating whatsoever. Over here is where the servos are going to go. Right there is basically cut out for your fixed landing gear. You will have to do some modifications in order to utilize the 100-degree rotating retracts. Okay, so keep that in mind. Landing gear, servo cutout. Now, also in this bag we've got our stickers and decals, so we're probably going to be utilizing that last. So let me set this wing aside for you. Same goes for the next part of the wing right here. We've got our servo landing gear cutouts. The ailerons move nice and freely, and we don't notice any damage whatsoever on the wing. So you can see and get kind of an idea on how big that wingspan is going to be. It's a pretty nice size airplane. Alright, next, what I'm going to do is try to pull out this without breaking anything. My favorite piece. We've got the fuselage. Now, here is the size of our fuselage. Now, nothing's put together, the cowl's not on, you don't have any of the pieces and parts, it's just your bare fuselage. You can see inside the construction is very nice, no cracked wood that I can see right here. The motor mount and the firewall is nice and beefy. So no issues, no wrinkles in the coating, everything looks good. Alright, down at the bottom of the box, you'll notice you've got all your control rods. You've got a couple of the extra pieces, short control rods, long control rods, everything you need for the working of the movable parts on the aircraft. So let me set those aside so we don't lose those. Next, what you'll notice is inside you've got a whole little box of parts and pieces. Now, I don't particularly know if this box comes out all the way, alright, but the problem that we're going to have is going through all these things. You've got your canopy, okay, and I'm going to set it back down in the box for now. Underneath, you've got the piece that's basically just going to go underneath the wing where the two halves meet. Now this is nice and wrapped up in tissue paper, so there's no paint or anything missing. I like that. All your extra spare parts and pieces as far as the assembly, and we'll show you what they are. This says fuselage, so it's nice and marked out for everything you need. You can see you've got everything in there, to include a spinner, multiple pieces that'll make your airplane operational later on down the road. Most of your plastic pieces, like your wheel covers and your wheel pans, so that's really nice. Everything's already included as far as that. If you're wondering how beefy the wheels are, you can see the wheels on there are nice and beefy. Rubber tires, good looking scale wheels. You shouldn't have any problems landing on grass fields with this thing, not whatsoever. One of the things that I like about this setup is that you're able to use either nitro or gas, or you could use an electric setup. And what they did was they give you a fuel tank just in case you wanted to go with the nitro setup. We're not going to be using the nitro setup on this. What we're going to be doing is actually using all the suggested E-flte electric components, motor, ESC, battery, everything. We're going to go with that setup just because it's easier for us. Alright, what else is left in here? Some more wing components. Then you've got all of your control horns, nylon parts. That's really nice. You can see that they actually cut your fuel tubing in here, so you can use that to put over your control rods that go in there to keep them from falling out. The last bag in here is going to be your landing gear, your fixed landing gear, and you can see these things are extremely beefy. You're not going to have any issues with these buckling whatsoever. Those are probably some of the most beefy landing gear I've ever seen. Alright, so that includes what's included in the big box. The small box. This is going to be your cowl. Now, what I like about this, they wrap everything in tissue paper. You can see this thing is wrapped around top to bottom. Okay, not going to be any issues, any damage with this whatsoever. Once we get done with this unboxing, I'll go ahead and open everything up for you, and you can get a look at what the components look like out of the packaging. Alright, so what we've got here is everything in the box, the components, the pieces, everything that we need to set up the kit. Now remember, ARF for Hangar 9 simply means just the airframe and all the simple components on the airframe. No electronics are included. So as we get through the build videos and the build process later on down the road, we will show you the pieces and parts and components that we're actually going to put in it. So let's go ahead and get this stuff unwrapped so we can show you what it looks like and all set up on the table. So you can see right here, everything comes pre-separated. If you're looking on the table, you can see that all the elevators, the ailerons, even the rudder, they're all hinged on there, but they're not on there yet. You're actually going to have to glue those down. So make sure you read the instructions before you put this together. You can see the quality on the actual wings themselves right here. Monocoat is very smooth. You can actually see a little bit of ribbing throughout there, so I love the detail. One of the things that you notice is the cowl. They actually installed some cardboard in there to make sure that it's not crushed, and it is actually made of fiberglass. No problems with this whatsoever. So wheels, wheel pans, I mean everything just looks absolutely great. What we didn't do was pull out a lot of the little minor pieces and parts, but we do know that they're all there. So that's a good job for getting everything taken care of and in there properly. So initial impressions on this is that it's going to be a straightforward build or assembly. Everything looks top-notch quality, so I can't wait to get into build. First thing I want to do is thank you for watching Wade's RC Hangar, and stay tuned for the build video.